Hello students, welcome to my class. So in my previous video, I have discussed about different oxidizing agents and how do they work, what is the reaction mechanism, and I hope you're practicing all these reactions at home because the only way to study organic chemistry is to practice these mechanisms, write it, understand it, and practice it. So in this video, I will be discussing in the same topic, that is oxidation reactions. We have one more part that is left, that is mechanism of oxidation reaction with the different salts, that is chromium salts and manganese salts. How these salts they act as oxidizing agent and how is the reaction mechanism. So in this video, I will be discussing about chromium salt and about manganese salts. We'll discuss in the next video. To begin with, chromium salts. There are different types of chromium salts. Like first one here, you can see sodium dichromate or potassium dichromate in dilute sulfuric acid, and then there is Itard's reagent, Jones reagent, PCC. You need to know the composition of all these reagents and how is their reaction mechanism. So we will study each of it individually. All of them are important. I will start with one of the chromium salts, first one, that is the chromic acid. Its formula is H2CrO4. We have chromium metal in the center and it has four oxygen atom, two bonded to the chromium with double bond, two of the oxygens and two as OH group, okay, and two hydrogens here, as you can see. So this is the structure of your chromic acid. Let us study one of the oxidation reactions in which we use chromic acid as the oxidizing agent. So first reaction, that is oxidation of alcohol. Now this you need to know because we have studied this in the previous videos, previous reactions also, that alcohol on oxidation gives what? It gives you an aldehyde. Now here, what is this alcohol, students? It has two carbon atoms, so it is an ethanol. Okay, so I'm taking ethanol and in the presence of our chromic acid as the catalyst or oxidizing agent, I'm getting an aldehyde, which is an acetaldehyde. Now reaction mechanism for this reaction is very simple. For your understanding, I have written it this way. I suggest you also write it this way because it's very easy for you to write the mechanism. So now here I have written our ethanol and this is the catalyst, that is the chromic acid. Simply remove, there is elimination of water. Here you can see one H plus or proton from the ethanol comes out and OH minus ion from the chromic acid comes out and leaves as water, H2O. So what is the charge on oxygen here? Since H has gone as H plus, oxygen will have a minus charge. Chromium here will have a plus charge because OH has gone out as OH minus. So you can join this oxygen to this chromium metal, correct? No. So join it, and what is this? What we have simply just joined that oxygen to chromium, and what is this? This is our chromate ester. Now, what do we want? We want to get an aldehyde. Now, look here how you can make an aldehyde from this. So, in order to get an aldehyde, you want this bond to be broken, correct? So, we will break it. In the next step, you can see CH3, CH2 was there. I've just written it as CH bond H, so that it is easy for you to understand. O, Cr, double bond O, OH. Now, where are we going to break the bond? First, let us remove this proton. Hydrogen goes out as H plus ion. So what happens to this bond? This bond shifts between carbon and oxygen as double bond O. Since one bond is shifting towards oxygen, one more bond that is there this side, that will shift away from oxygen on chromium. Okay, so here there is a bond breakage. This step is nothing but cleavage of metal oxygen bond. Okay, which is a metal here? Chromium. Oxygen is there. Cleavage of this bond is explained in this particular step. So one bond shifts on chromium here, the bond electron. So what happens here? The double bonded oxygen, one of the double bonded oxygen, the pi bond shifts on oxygen. So oxygen here gets a minus charge. Now you know that oxygen here has a minus charge and you have a H plus ion in the reaction medium, correct, which was given out from this side. So that will simply come and attach over here as OH. So that is our next the product that we get. What do we get? CH3 C double bond O bond H, which is an acetaldehyde. And what do we get? We have chromium with 2 OH. Here 1 H which is obtained from this part, 2 OH groups and 1 double bond O. So that's a very simple reaction mechanism of this reaction. Okay, that was one of the applications. The second application is reaction number B. Now, I hope you know what this compound is because we have come across this molecule a lot of times previously as well. What is this? I hope you're answering at home. This is a diol. Yeah, we had this already. This is a diol molecule. Okay, because it has two OH groups in it. Now diol on oxidation with the chromic acid, what does it give? This one, once again you know this. What is this? It is a diketo compound. Okay, and CrO2. The reaction mechanism is same as the previous one. It is very simple. This is a chromic acid and this is a diol. This time you will eliminate two molecule of water. One H from here, one OH from here. One H from here, one OH from here. So chromium will have what? Two plus charges on itself. Oxygen here will have one minus charge on itself. This oxygen also will have a minus charge on itself. So two molecules of water are gone out from the step, and what do we get? We get a cyclic intermediate. How did we get this? Simply join this oxygen to this chromium and this oxygen also to this chromium. So we have got a cyclic intermediate. Now we need a diketo compound. So you have to do some bond shifting here. Which and all bonds will you shift? One, this bond between oxygen and metal, that is the chromium, will shift here and you will get a double bond O. Okay, and this bond between these two carbon atoms will shift here and you will get a double bond O. Now one bond has shifted away from chromium and this bond will shift towards chromium. So chromium will not have any charge on itself. So where and all did we break this molecule? Here, here and here. So we have got what? A diketo compound, correct? And what else is remaining? This part, that is the CrO2. That is the second application. Moving on to the third application of chromic acid. What is the third application? That is the oxidation of alkene. Now this also we studied previously. What does alkene give on oxidation? It gives us a epoxide ring, or the ring containing one oxygen. This is called as an epoxide. Okay. So let us understand the reaction mechanism. Here this is little different compared to A and B because here we don't have hydrogen. So that elimination of water is not possible here. But still here you have an unsaturated compound, that is double bond. So conveniently the pi bond here will shift on one carbon. So you know that on the carbon which it shifts will get a minus charge and one more will get the plus charge, correct? And then what happens to the chromic acid here that we have taken? One bond shifts onto oxygen giving it a minus charge. So chromium will get a plus charge. In order to remove that plus charge on chromium, what happens? One more pi bond shifts towards chromium. So one oxygen will have plus charge, one more oxygen will have minus charge. Now what you will do? You will simply attach this molecule over here. This positively charged carbon will get attached to this, this negatively charged oxygen, and this negatively charged carbon will get attached to this positively charged oxygen. So you get a cyclic intermediate. Now you want what from this? You want an epoxide ring. So what you have to do? You have to make sure that you break this ring in such a way that you retain one oxygen for this molecule. Okay. So how will you do that? You will shift this bond onto oxygen, giving this oxygen a negative charge. And this bond will be shifted here between chromium and oxygen. So what will this carbon get? It will get a plus charge. Why will it get a plus charge? One bond shifted away from it. So this carbon is left only with 1, 2, 3 bonds. So it will get a plus charge on itself. Now this carbon has plus charge, this oxygen has minus charge. This molecule has broken at this part and this side. Okay, are you all following? So this oxygen will go and form a bond with this carbon, and this whole part is broken out. So what do we get? We get an epoxide ring, correct? And what else is left? Cr, OH, OH, double bond O, correct. This oxygen is not there. Remember, this has gone with this part. It has broken into two parts. Next, under chromium salt, we are studying about sodium dichromate. Sodium dichromate, which is one of the chromium salts that is used as a very good oxidizing agent. It is always used in the presence of dilute H2SO4, okay, co-catalyst, which is your dilute H2SO4. Now, one of the reaction under sodium dichromate is oxidation of alcohol. This time we have taken, a cyclic alcohol. On oxidation, what does it give? It gives, that oxidation of alcohol yields an keto compound, correct? So we have got a ketone here in the presence of sodium dichromate. So let us understand what is the mechanism of this reaction. Step number one is over here. You're taking sodium dichromate first of all in the presence of H2SO4, dilute H2SO4. So water is also there. What do we get? We get Na2SO4. This is not important. This is what is important for us. That is H2CrO4. What is H2CrO4, students? This is nothing but your chromic acid. So sodium dichromate actually will give you the chromic acid part, which is actually carrying out this oxidation reaction. So this you have to write the step number one, which shows us how we got the chromic acid. Second step, what you will do, you will take this chromic acid and make it react with your alcohol. Now this is same as the previous one. There is elimination of water in this step. So what you will do, you will join this oxygen part to this chromium and write the entire structure. Nothing, just joining this oxygen where to this chromium. Okay. Then what is this called? This is called as a chromate ester. Okay. Now here I have written one hydrogen. Don't ask me why, because you know it. Okay. Here this carbon will have four bonds. Correct. One, two, three, and one hydrogen is there. Although we do not show it when we are writing it like this, it is understood that there is one hydrogen over here, two hydrogens over here. Two hydrogen, two hydrogen, two hydrogen. Correct, because each of these carbons, they should have four, valency four. So four bonds should be there. Here it has one hydrogen, one OH on itself. So that hydrogen I have shown in this step. Don't think that from where did this hydrogen come. It was already there. I did not show it. We usually don't represent it when we are writing it like this, but it is understood. So this hydrogen is there. Okay, now the chromate ester, what happens here, there's a breaking of bond between the metal and oxygen. Metal oxygen bond cleavage takes place, and this bond shifts towards chromium. Why is it shifting towards chromium? Because first what happens, this double bond O oxygen is there, no? The pi bond shifts on oxygen as O minus, so chromium will get a plus charge. In order to neutralize that plus charge, this oxygen chromium bond cleavage takes place, and this bond shifts on to chromium. So what is the charge on oxygen now? Since the bond has shifted away, oxygen will get a plus charge. And in order to remove this plus charge on oxygen, what happens? One of this hydrogen that was already there here goes out as H plus ion, and this bond is between carbon and hydrogen, shifts between carbon and oxygen. So what do we get? We get a ketone, correct? Benzene ring, double bond O. So we got a ketone, and what else? This part is left, and this H plus is there in the reaction medium, which will go where? It will come here and attach over here, because this oxygen has O minus charge. So we have got Cr, OH, OH, double bond O. Okay, so the next application of sodium dichromate is the oxidation of alkyl benzene. What is an alkyl benzene? An alkyl group will be attached onto benzene. What is its name? Tell me. It's a methyl benzene. A methyl CH3 group is attached onto benzene. Such a compound is called as a alkyl benzene, or whatever is there. Now it's a methyl benzene. If it had ethyl group, then it would be ethyl benzene. Methyl benzene on oxidation with sodium dichromate in the presence of dilute H2SO4, what does it give? What is this? This is a carboxylic acid group, COOH. So this is nothing but your benzoic acid. So an alkyl benzene on oxidation gives what? It gives a benzoic acid. Now let us understand the mechanism of this reaction. The first step is same as the previous one, nothing, no changes at all. You are taking your sodium dichromate and you are making it react with H2SO4, dilute H2SO4. So what do you get? You get your chromic acid. In the second step, what you'll do, you'll take the chromic acid and your alkyl benzene. In this case, it is methyl benzene. Now look here, students, this is a complex mechanism. There are 3 steps. I've shown 2 steps now. Next step will be taught in the next slide. So what happens here? I'm taking methyl benzene. Instead of writing it CH3, I've written it as CH2H for your understanding. Now what happens here? There is elimination of proton. One H plus goes out. So what charge will get on carbon? It will get a minus charge. Now let's come to chromic acid. What happens here? One bond shifts onto oxygen as minus, one bond shifts away from this oxygen. So this oxygen will get a plus charge. Now, which part will attach to the carbon? The oxygen with the plus charge will go and attach onto this carbon. And now you know that there is a proton, free proton in the reaction medium that will come and attach onto here, which is O minus. Okay. So that is written in the next step, that is CH2. I've just joined this part over here, CH2O, Cr, 3 OH groups are there. Which are the 3 OH groups? 1, 2 and the new OH group that is formed from this proton coming and attaching over here. 3 OH groups are attached. What is the next step? Can we eliminate water here? Yes, there is OH also, there is H also. So we can eliminate water. So the next step is elimination of water. Remove one OH. OH will go out as OH minus. So chromium will get a what? Plus charge. Okay. And then what you'll do from here, you will remove H as H plus. So once again, this bond will shift between chromium and oxygen. Since one bond is going and one bond is forming, so that plus charge will go off from chromium and there won't be any charge on chromium. So now we have eliminated water, remove this whole part and write the next what is that intermediate that you get? CH2. I've simply expanded this and written CH2O, Cr double bond O, OH. Okay. First, chromium will not have any charge on itself. I'll tell you why I've written plus here. The plus is because in this step, what has happened? In this step, what has happened? You have double bond O, correct? And this OH is written over here, don't get confused, and this double bond O is written over here. Now what happens? This double bond O is there. Once again, one of the pi bond shifts on oxygen. So oxygen gets a minus charge. So what charge will chromium get? A plus charge. That is why chromium has a plus charge over here, not over here. See here, it won't get any charge because one bond is leaving, one bond, new bond is forming. So no charge formation takes place on chromium. Here it gets a plus charge. Reason is because there's a pi bond shift on oxygen. So chromium is getting a plus charge. Now, so to remove that plus charge on chromium, what will chromium do? Take up electrons from this chromium and oxygen bond. Here in most of the steps, this step is very common, most of the reaction, that is cleavage of the metal oxygen bond. So this bond has got shifted on chromium, the plus charge is now gone. So there's a cleavage of this bond and oxygen will not get any charge. Reason, one proton has gone out and this bond once again shifts between carbon and oxygen. So what do we get? We have got an aldehyde here. But what are we supposed to get actually? We're supposed to get a benzoic acid. So this reaction is not over. Step number 2 is complete. Now in step number 3, what we'll do? We will convert this aldehyde into an acid. And what else do we get? Chromium with 2 OH groups, because this H was gone and it will come and attach over here. So we have chromium with 2 OH groups. Next is our step number 3 of the same reaction. Now what do we have to do? We got an aldehyde by the end of step number 2. But what did we have to get actually? We had to get a carboxylic acid group. Correct. We wanted a benzoic acid. Now, how to convert benzaldehyde to benzoic acid? Once again, what you're taking? You're taking chromic acid. Initially, if you remember, I'll show you how many molecules of chromic acid did we get? We got two molecules of chromic acid, out of which one got used in step number 2. We have one more with us which we are using in step number 3. Now once again take that second molecule of chromic acid that is left with us. Here in benzaldehyde, what you'll do, you'll shift this pi bond onto oxygen, so oxygen will get a minus charge and carbon will get a plus charge. And in chromic acid, you know how to shift the bond. So one oxygen will have minus and one oxygen will have plus charge. Now this carbon will go and attach onto where? Onto this oxygen with minus charge. Write everything as such. Just attach this carbon onto this oxygen. Okay. So what do we have? We get this complex structure. Correct. Which is this O minus? This is this one, which has got shifted onto this oxygen, which is this O plus, this one, this oxygen. So I've written everything as such here. Now, can you do elimination of water here? Yes, whenever you have two OH groups like this, you can eliminate water. Remove one OH from here, remove one H from here. So there is elimination of water, and this bond gets shifted over here as double bond O on chromium. And since water has got eliminated, water will again dissociate to give what? H plus and OH minus in the reaction medium. And this H plus again will come and attach over here. You know that there is O minus here. That will come and attach over here. Okay. So in the next step, you can see that this was O minus in the previous step. Now it has OHY. That H plus came and got attached over here. Now once again, you want to get an benzoic acid. You want benzoic acid. How will you do it? You will remove this proton. It goes out as H plus, and this bond shifts between carbon and oxygen. So we get C double bond OH. And what happens over here? This bond shifts away from chromium as a minus charge on oxygen. So chromium will get a plus charge. In order to remove that plus charge on chromium, what does chromium do? It shifts this bond onto itself. So that plus charge on chromium is gone. So there is a what is happening in this step? Like all previous reaction, there is a cleavage of the oxygen metal bond over here. So we get a benzoic acid. This is the entire mechanism of this reaction. Next, under chromium salts, we have pyridinium chlorochromate. This is a structure of pyridinium chlorochromate. Now, it has two parts. There's no bond here, students. It has two parts. That is, one is the pyridinium ring, and one more is the chlorochromate part. Okay. So, this is a mild and highly selective kind of oxidizing agent. Let us study one of the applications where pyridinium chlorochromate is used in the oxidation of alcohol. What does alcohol give on oxidation? It gives a ketone, you know that. So how is the reaction mechanism? Let us take an alcohol. You can see that this is an alcoholic compound, this OH group, and you're taking your oxidizing agent, which is your pyridinium chlorochromate. Now, first thing what happens? One of the H leaves out as a proton as H plus ion. So this oxygen will get a negative charge on itself. Here in the pyridinium chlorochromate, do not touch the pyridinium part. Let it be as such. Here what happens? There's a shifting of bonds as you've studied earlier. This oxygen will get a negative charge because this pi bond shifts on oxygen. What charge does chromium get here? It gets a plus charge on itself. Okay. So what happens here? Chromium is having a plus charge. This oxygen has a negative charge. So that will come and attach and form a bond with this chromium. And it also has a oxygen which already has a negative charge on itself. Correct. One oxygen is there which already has a negative charge on itself. That will take up this proton and you get OH. So this is your next, see it is coming here. This is your next product that you get. What is it? An intermediate, not a product. What do you get? You get, I've just formed a bond between this oxygen and the chromium here. And what and all do you have? you have O minus, correct? You have an O minus, you have a double bond O, and you have Cl. Okay, I've not written this pyridinium part. It's okay because later on it'll come into picture here. Now let it be. Just attach this part and write. Now what happens in this step? One bond, one Cl goes out as Cl minus from this chromium. One bond is broken and simultaneously one more bond is formed. Like oxygen here has O minus, correct? That forms a pi bond here between chromium and oxygen. So chromium won't get any charge on itself because one bond is broken, simultaneously one more bond is formed. So this is the next intermediate what we get. And what have we also got? We have got a elimination, that is we have got Cl minus, and Cl minus will now come and react with the pyridinium part. Okay, there is H, so this Cl minus will come and form a bond with that H to give HCl here. Now that is our one more intermediate byproduct which is not required. The main part is this one. What do we get now? C double bond O, because this minus got shifted as a bond. This is gone. Cl is gone. So C double bond O, one OH is there. Now what you want to get a ketone compound. So once again this step is nothing but breaking or cleavage of oxygen metal bond. How does it take place? This bond shifts here as minus charge on oxygen. So in order to neutralize the plus charge on chromium, this bond shifts on to chromium. So there's a breakage in the oxygen and metal bond. Here what happens, since oxygen is having a plus charge, there's elimination of this proton or H, and this bond shifts here as a double bond, so we get a ketone. So the next application of pyridinium chlorochromate is allylic oxidation. Now tell me students, what is an allylic carbon? I'm sure you know this. The carbon which is beside the double bonded, you can say that carbon beside the double bond is, such a carbon is called as an allylic carbon. Now you can see there's a double bond over here. The carbon that is right next to it is this carbon, correct? Or this also, but here this also is an allylic carbon. So the oxidation of that carbon is called as a allylic oxidation, correct? So there's a double bond here, the carbon next to it gets oxidized. Such an oxidation is called as allylic oxidation. Now we have taken this in the presence of pyridinium chlorochromate. What do we get? We just add one double bond O here. Let us understand how this reaction proceeds, the reaction mechanism. The reaction mechanism for this reaction is like really simple. As you can see here, this carbon, you have to take that carbon where we have to, where it has to undergo oxidation. That particular carbon is taken under consideration. You can see this carbon. Two hydrogens I have written. See in the previous molecule, I am not showing hydrogen here, but isn't it understood that it has two hydrogens? Yeah, it is understood because see, this carbon, wherever I've kept the pointer, this particular carbon has how many bonds? 1, 2, 3 and 4. Two hydrogens are there. This is not shown when it's written like this, but it is understood that there are two hydrogens here. Correct. So we're taking that molecule, two hydrogens, I'm writing it here, okay, because reaction mechanism we have to show, right? So one of this hydrogen goes out as a proton or H plus ion. So what charge will this carbon get? It'll get a negative charge because one proton elimination takes place. And what we are taking the chlorochromate part, okay. Now shift here, one pi bond shifts on oxygen, so oxygen gets a negative charge. One bond shifts towards chromium, so this oxygen gets a positive charge. Now you have carbon with negative charge, just attach that carbon over to this oxygen. That's what I have done in this step, okay. Now what you will do, this part is there, no, remove the chlorine part out of it. It goes out as Cl minus. So what will chromium get? A plus charge. In order to remove that plus charge, what you'll do? This O minus is there. You will form a pi bond between oxygen and chromium. So that charge is neutralized or gone away. So it won't get any charge here. And you know that there is one H already in the reaction medium that will come and attach over to this oxygen, which is in the form of O minus. Correct. So In the next step, what we have got, we have Cl minus, which has gone out in this step, correct? And there is Cr double bond O, which is this one, and Cr bonded to OH, which is this one. Taking one H from this, and it has become OH now. Now what you will do, you will remove the second hydrogen here attached to this carbon. There's elimination of this proton, and this bond shifts between this carbon and oxygen as double bond O. Now we have actually got your main molecule that you have. What you have to do, you have to just remove this part. How will you remove that part? Cleavage of the oxygen metal bond. How is that taking place? You have to shift this bond, pi bond, onto oxygen, so it will get a minus charge, and this chromium will get a plus charge. So what will chromium do? It will take up electrons from this bond, so oxygen will get a plus charge, but because you're shifting this bond as double bond on between carbon and oxygen, there won't be any charge on oxygen, because one bond is breaking, one new bond is forming here. So this is what your keto compound, yeah, after oxidation that you have got. Next, fourth type of chromium salt that we are discussing is Jones reagent. This is very important, students. They can ask you what is Jones reagent, what is the composition of Jones reagent. So it is nothing but CrO3 plus dilute H2SO4. Under application of Jones reagent, we'll study oxidation of alcohol. You know, alcohol on oxidation will give you a ketonic compound. So what is Jones reagent used in? It is used in oxidation of primary or secondary allylic or benzylic alcohol. Now let us see what is the reaction mechanism of this allylic alcohol getting oxidized to give you a ketonic compound. Okay, so now let's study what is the reaction mechanism using Jones reagent. How does this oxidation of alcohol take place? Yeah, oxidation of alcohol to give you a ketonic compound. How does this reaction proceed? What is its reaction mechanism? So what you will do, Jones reagent, what is the composition? CrO3 and H2SO4. Firstly, let's take the H2SO4. How does H2SO4 dissociate? It dissociates to give H plus and HSO4 minus. Since it is dilute H2SO4, we have water also. And water, one of this H plus adds on to water to give you what? H3O plus. Now H3O plus once again dissociates back to give what? H plus and H2O. Okay. So now let us take this is all with the dilute sulfuric acid part. Next, let us take the actual chromium salt. What is that? CrO3. Now CrO3, one of the pi bonds, I will shift it onto oxygen. So this oxygen will have a negative charge and this chromium will have a plus charge. Now, since this oxygen has a negative charge, you know that H3O plus got dissociated to give H plus and H2O, correct? So this H plus part will come and attach over to this oxygen to give OH. And here there's a plus charge, and in water, you know that oxygen has two lone pair of electrons on itself in water, correct? So this oxygen has two lone pair of electron. Chromium is a deficient, electron deficient. So what happens? This oxygen will form a bond with this chromium, but that oxygen, since it is giving both the electrons for this bond formation, what charge will that oxygen get? It will get a plus charge. It becomes electron deficient. Why? Because it is sharing one of its lone pair of electrons to form a bond with this chromium. So it gets a plus charge. So you get a molecule like this. Now here what happens, in order to remove this plus charge on oxygen, one proton, H2O, is got added here, correct? 2H and 1O. One proton goes out as H plus ion. So this bond pair electrons will shift onto oxygen, so that plus charge on it is gone. So now we have chromium, double bond O, OH, and one more OH. What has happened here? It was OHH, and this H went out as a proton. So we are now left with OH, and the charge on oxygen is gone because this went out as H plus ion. So the electrons of this bond got shifted onto this oxygen. Now what is this, students? This is nothing but your chromic acid. And this know already, we studied this. Once again, I won't tell it in very detail. What are we doing? We're taking an alcohol and we are carrying out the oxidation in the presence of chromic acid. What happens? Step number 1, elimination of water, formation of chromate ester. Then what do we get? The chromate part here will break off and there's a cleavage of oxygen metal bond and we get a ketonic compound. Correct. So that was about your Jones reagent. Next, this is one more important reagent, that is the Itard's reagent. What is the composition of Itard's reagent? You have CrO2Cl2 in the presence of carbon tetrachloride or CCl4. What is the application? It is used in the oxidation of methyl benzene to give you a benzaldehyde. Okay, so we are using Itard's reagent. Let us understand the mechanism. So the reaction mechanism using Itard's reagent, the reaction mechanism is like this. What are we taking? What are we doing in this reaction? We're converting this methyl benzene into benzaldehyde. Okay. So let us take the methyl benzene first. And what is this? This is your Itard's reagent, CrO2Cl2. Now what will you do here? It is CH3. I have opened it and written it as CH2H. There is an elimination of proton. H goes out as H plus ion. So what charge will this carbon get? It will get a negative charge. Coming to CrO2Cl2, that is your Itard's reagent, what happens here? One bond shifts onto oxygen. Oxygen will get a negative charge. This bond shifts onto chromium. So this oxygen will get a positive charge on itself. Now what you will do? You will attach this whole part through this oxygen to this carbon. So, and then you have this oxygen with a negative charge and you have a H plus ion in the reaction medium which will come and sit or attach over here. So now what do you have? You have the CH2 part and to this carbon, this oxygen is attached, Cr2Cl is there and one OH is there. What can you eliminate over here? See, there's a H, there's a Cl, so there is elimination of HCl in this particular step. Cl goes out as Cl minus, H goes out as H plus. They both combine together and go out as HCl. Now what happens here? Why is chromium not getting any charge? Because there is one bond breaking, but there is one more bond forming. That is, since H is going out as H plus, oxygen is getting a negative charge here. That is getting shifted between oxygen and chromium as double bond O. So there is no charge on chromium. There is a bond breaking and there is a simultaneous new bond formation. So there is no charge on chromium. Going on to the next step, what is it? CH2O. Now we have Cr double bond O Cl. One Cl is gone off already. So we are left with only one Cl. Now what happens in the next step? We need a benzaldehyde. So what do we have to do? We have to break the bond at this side. So there is breakage of metal oxygen bond. How does it take place? This pi bond shifts onto oxygen. So this metal and oxygen bond shifts onto chromium in order to neutralize the charge on chromium. Here what happens? I have just opened CH2 and written there's an elimination of proton, that is H. This H is being removed. So this bond directly shifts onto this between this carbon and this oxygen. So now we have CHO and what else are we left with? One proton got eliminated which will go and form a bond with this oxygen. We have Cr, Cl and OH. So this is a reaction mechanism. That's how we convert methyl benzene into benzaldehyde. So next application is conversion of alkyl to formyl. This time we are not taking benzene ring. This time we are taking a furan. What is a furan? A ring having oxygen in it. So we are taking a methyl furan to methyl furan, and what is it getting converted into? It is getting converted into an aldehyde group. All you have to do is replace the methyl group to aldehyde group and write. That's all. Any ring, any heterocyclic ring they give you, that time we had benzene, don't touch the ring, just change the methyl group into aldehyde. Now this can come as a 2-mark question also. They can give you only methyl furan or any ring attached to CH3 and they might give you the reagent like Itard's reagent and ask you what is the product. So what you will write? You will change the CH3 group into the aldehyde group and write, or they might give you the reaction and ask you what catalyst or what oxidizing agent we are using. So what you will write Itard's reagent, which is CrO2Cl2. So with this reaction, we have finished with the part that is chromium salts. In our next video, we will be discussing about the manganese salts. Okay, so I hope that you practice all these reactions, write down the mechanism and practice it every day. And have a good weekend, students. Study nicely. And thank you for attending my class. Bye.